Set 7. Catch 3 float technique. The secret to detecting fish bites with precision. Hey there, fishing fanatics. Happy new day, and welcome back to Fishing 24 Hours, your go-to channel for hardcore fishing tips and stories that make every trip legendary. Ever sat fishing, watching your float bob aimlessly, unsure if it's fish biting or just wind and waves? The Set 7, catch 3 inches float technique in float fishing is the key to making your float talk. Catching every bite with precision. Today we'll dive into this game-changing method, from setting the float, picking the perfect spot, 2 real-world tricks for spotting fish bites, turning you into a master angler hauling in big catches. This story takes me back a few months to Lake Toledo Bend, Texas, a top fishing spot. I was there all morning, my float twitching constantly, but I couldn't tell if fish were biting or it was just ripples. Not a single fish hooked. I was ready to quit. Then an old angler nearby grinned and said, "Your float's off, buddy. Set 7, catch 3 makes it crystal clear. Fix it, or you'll miss every bite." I took his advice, adjusted my float to show 7 marks above water without bait, then cast with bait so only 3 marks showed. Within minutes, the float stood up, then shot down clean. The hook and landed a 4-pound grass carp, thrashing like crazy. That day, I bagged a few carp too, my bucket heavy, pride sky high. That's when I knew Set 7, catch 3 makes your float a fish detector. In this video, we'll explore why the Set 7 catch 3 technique makes your float ultra sensitive, how to set it up right, the best spots to fish, and tips to catch every bite. I've got 2 real-life US stories to fire you up, plus practical tips, beginner advice, and safety pointers to dominate any fishing hole. This trick works in ponds, lakes, rivers, and bayous across America. From Toledo Bend to Bayou Black, for species like grass carp, bluegill, and crappie. So, grab a cold soda, get comfy, and let's uncover the Set 7, catch 3 secret to hook monster fish. Why is Set 7, catch 3 so effective? Without bait? Adjust your float to sit 7 centimeters or 7 marks above water, setting a baseline. With bait, the weight pulls the float down, leaving only 3 centimeters showing, hitting the perfect balance. This ratio keeps the float sensitive yet stable. Light nibbles make it quiver clearly. Solid bite sends it upright or diving decisively. It avoids false signals from wind or waves. And the bait sits naturally on the bottom, not too heavy or floating. This turns your float into your eyes underwater, catching every tiny signal. I've tested it on countless trips, and this technique is the key to fishing success. Setting the float is step 1. Use a sensitive float, 6 to 8 inches long, with clear marks. Without bait, add a 1/16 to 1/8 ounce sinker, adjusting so the float shows 7 marks or 7 centimeters above water. Add bait, like rice mix or worms, and tweak the sinker so only 3 marks show. Drop to the bottom for carp or grass carp, setting the float 5 to 10 centimeters from the hook. Carp nibble lightly, so wait for the float to stand upright or dive steadily, then set the hook gently. Use a 6 to 8 pound test line for big fighters. At Lake Toledo Bend, Set 7, catch 3 is the gold standard for grass carp, especially near grassy banks. The key is testing the float multiple times. Cast a few times, watching the float to ensure the bait hits the bottom, not hovering. If the float's too sensitive, twitching from waves, reduce the sinker slightly, aiming for Set 6, catch 4. If it's sluggish, missing bites, add a bit more sinker. Sticking to Set 7, catch 3, watch the water, bubbles, or fish shadows, signal a feeding school. If the float quivers lightly, wait for a full dive to set the hook firmly. Use size 4 to 6 hooks, wrapping bait tightly to stay secure during casts. The right fishing spot is the second piece. Set 7, catch 3 shines in calm lakes like Toledo Bend, or slow-moving bayous like Bayou Black. Farm ponds with soft, muddy bottoms are perfect for grass carp and carp foraging. Cast near grass, submerged roots, or the bottom of still pools. Use a 1/16 to 1/8 ounce sinker to keep bait in place. At Toledo Bend, grassy edges or root-heavy banks after rain are hot spots. If no bubbles or fish show, move to a shadier, quieter spot. Fish that love this technique are grass carp, carp white amore, and bluegill. Grass carp and carp respond to Set 7, catch 3, as they nibble bait on the bottom, 4 to 8 inches deep. White Amore prefer midwater bait, 0.5 to 1 meter deep, twitching the rod every 2 to 3 seconds to spread scent. If the float jerks hard, set the hook quick but gentle with a 4 to 6 pound test line. A sensitive float catches even the lightest nibbles from bluegill. Timing is critical too. Grass carp and carp feed hard early morning, 4:30 a.m. to 7 a.m., or late afternoon, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., near grass or roots. White Amore hits strong at midday or after rain by flooded grass. Cloudy days, post-rain, or light breezes are ideal. Fish lower their guard and bite eagerly. At Toledo Bend, post-train is prime time for set 7, catch 3 to draw big fish. If your float's still, wait for peak hours or cast closer to the feeding zone. To boost success, chum lightly before casting. Near roots, scatter rice mix or light bait powder to draw carp. Now grass, toss powder for White Amore. Chum sparingly, wait 10 to 15 minutes for fish to gather. Look for bubbles or fish, time to cast. This turns your spot into a fish magnet, upping big catch odds. If no bites in 15 to 20 minutes, shift spots or adjust the sinker for better float balance. Here's another story to show this technique's power. On Bayou Black, Louisiana, I fished with buddies. Their floats bobbed aimlessly, unable to tell bites from waves. I stuck to set 7, catch 3, casting rice bait near a grassy bank. In under 20 minutes, my float shot upright, and I landed a 4-pound carp, thrashing wildly. The crew was amazed. That float setup's unreal. That day, I hooked a few bluegill too, my bucket heavy. A lesson I'll never forget. Master set 7, catch 3 like a pro, prep smart. Use a sensitive float with clear marks, 1/16 to 1/8 ounce sinkers, and strong 6 to 8 pound line. Bring varied baits, rice mix, worms, or shrimp to test what works. Check line where to avoid breaks. Watch the water, bubbles, ripples, fish to pick casting spots. Cast at the right depth, bottom for carp, mid-water for White Amore. Test the float before each session, ensuring set 7, catch 3. If no bites in 15 to 20 minutes, switch spots or tweak the sinker. In calm lakes, cast near grass or roots, 4 to 8 inches from the bottom. In bayous, pick slow current corners. In muddy ponds, drop to the bottom with a 1/16 to 1/8 ounce sinker. After rain, set 7, catch 3 shines, pulling grass carp and carp. Keep experimenting. If the float doesn't move, adjust for more sensitivity. Avoid setting too shallow. The float gives false twitches or too deep missing bites. Safety's key. Avoid slippery banks, especially after rain at Toledo Bend, to prevent falls. In bayous, wear a life jacket near currents. Keep noise low. Avoid shadows on the water. Bluegill and White Amore spook easily. Set a backup light behind you at night to see your path and avoid tripping. When casting soft bait, wrap it well to avoid splattering. A little caution keeps your trip fun and safe. New to float fishing? Set 7, catch 3 is a great lesson. Try a pond with rice bait dropping to the bottom for carp. Setting the float at 7 and 3, or fish White Amore in a lake, casting mid-water at 0.5 to 1 meter. Out. Note which spots and settings work, like grass carp after rain. Adjust your still float. Adjust your sinker or spot. This skill builds observation and patience, setting you up for big catches. To level up, practice setting the float at the right depth, twitching for midwater fish, or testing different baits for sensitivity. Spend trips at ponds, lakes, or bayous, picking spots by water signs. Use a sensitive rod, clear-marked float, strong line. In crowded spots, find a quiet corner to keep fish calm. These details make you a float fishing pro, even with a simple setup. The set 7, catch 3 technique is an old-school secret few share. Set the float right, cast on point, and fish can't escape. 3 words: sensitive, stable, precise. Every perfect float twitch, fish swarming, diving clean, feels like carrying on the old-timer's legacy. When the float stands tall, heart racing, hands gripping the rod, that's a moment only anglers get. Rookie or pro, this trick will make you king of any fishing hole. That's it, folks. You've cracked the set 7, catch 3 float technique, from setup to picking spots to avoiding slip-ups. I hope you're pumped to try this skill. Smash that like, share with your fishing crew, and subscribe to Fishing 24 Hours for more killer tips. Got a float fishing story worth sharing? Drop it in the comments. I'm all ears. Tight lines, big catches. See you next time.